Local information you need to know.
Netflix buffering, YouTube spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. It's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. The DeWitt County Board approved planned expenditures and a raise for the public defender Thursday night at its monthly meeting. 3 holding tanks in the county building were approved at a cost of just under $10,000. Chair of the Property Committee, Terry Ferguson, told the board the tanks were required when the building was erected.
The only thing we've got to bring forward to the full board is a motion to remove, I'll make a motion to remove the 3 water holding tanks at a cost of $9,600. These tanks are here in the courthouse. They were required, I think, when the courthouse was built by our affiliation with because of the power plant. I think they felt this was going to be a long-term fallout shelter. And there's 3 tanks there in the back room there that's probably hold about 3,000 gallons of water at least. I'm not sure exactly how big each tank is.
County Highway Engineer Mark Mathon provided information to the board regarding a surprise inspection of the county's highway building by the Department of Labor that revealed 3 safety and documentation compliance citations, which are being addressed through policy adoption and notification to other county departments.
Sure, as Mr. Prescott referenced, it was a, best terminology, random draw inspection that they do for this particular inspector. As I was having a conversation with him, he does 50 of these annually. And they typically are across the range of municipalities, highway departments, and township highway departments, township road districts as well. General look, and I could pull out the sheet, but generally they're looking for safe working conditions, that the equipment is safe, guards are in place, and also documentation of various inspections or trainings or material documentation. And we did get notice of citations for 3 different things that were safety data sheet, binders, hazard assessments, and a hazard communication policy. And at our meeting, one of the items that was taken care of there at the committee level was adopting the hazard assessment certification and the communication policy that I developed based on some documents provided by Department of Labor's templates. I have since had some conversation with Chris Hedrick with maintenance about these same things, and from discussion today, he was starting in on taking care of some of that documentation. And I did have a letter that, after a little side conversation, an email that is going to be sent out to other county departments to notify them of what these issues were that were findings at the highway department, so that they are not also potential findings elsewhere in the county.
The county board approved a raise for the county public defender, Tim Hall. State's Attorney Dan Markwell explains the state of Illinois reimburses the county for 2/3 of his salary for this when they document having a public defender. Also, at the Thursday night meeting, the board approved an engineering agreement with Cummins Engineering to provide building permit review and construction observation services for Prairie Flats Solar Farm. The board also approved a 3.5% increase for non-union workers for the fiscal year 27. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. That's DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. Best of all, it's all free all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com.
From pickups to family vehicles, trust the experts at Walker Tire in Clinton, featuring quality Yokohama tires for dependable performance. We're here to help you find the right tire for every vehicle and every budget. Learn more by clicking our icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
Longview Community Bank is now open in Clinton, investing in rural Illinois. I'm Vice President Nate Sams. Stop by for a visit or to find out how we provide real local banking. Click our banner ad at the top of the local news page on DeWittDailyNews.com.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
Don't let a summer sniffle turn into a summer setback. Whether it's a cold cough, rash, scrape, bug bite, or minor injury, Warner Hospital's walk-in clinic has you covered. No appointment necessary, just walk in and be seen by our caring medical team. Fast, convenient care, close to home means less time waiting, more time enjoying summer. Warner Hospital Walk-in Clinic, right here when you need us.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sportswire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Clinton opens the 2026 football season with a long road trip to Dakota, Illinois, to take on the Dakota Indians on Saturday as they try to bounce back from an 0-9 season and end a 14-game losing streak. Head coach Ron Bass says this offseason for the Maroons was spent in the weight room as kids jumped back into the grind earlier than he has ever seen. He is proud of his older guys who have stepped into leadership roles already and helped set a hardworking mindset.
We did come together as a group in a lot of ways, behind the scenes, non-football related per se, but it just, the kids were ready to get right after it. So we started lifting. We started doing workouts, team workouts in November and December last year, which is by far the earliest I've ever had that. And so, the older guys have been hungry. The weight room attendance was even better than it was last year. So we're still going to be extremely young, though. It's going to be some challenging moments again this year. But I'm telling you, the future looks bright. You're going to see some young players out there playing and that have some talent. So it's going to be, there'll be some times where it's going to be tough, but there's also going to be a lot of exciting moments, I feel, too. Our four seniors, of course, Micah Wheeler, Luke Baker, Van Angel, and Kai Hayes, kind of led the way in the weight room. I think we've got guys that have gotten stronger. I know Kai Hayes has worked really hard on his own as well, on top of doing stuff for football, and has dropped some weight and has gotten stronger. And so you're gonna see him playing a lot more than he did last year. So we're thrilled about kind of how he's grown up, and his attitude's been wonderful and helping out the young guys. So, but the other seniors as well, that they've been helping these young guys along.
Cole Thomas will be behind the wheel on the field this season. After a throwing arm injury forced the team to make a change at quarterback, Bass says Thomas was the natural decision. He will help to lead the Maroons offense and a group of young players.
Going into the season, or into the off season, we had Brody Adair, sophomore, who was lined up to be our starting quarterback. He's not a large statured player by any means, but he could deliver and distribute the ball. to the athletes that we'll have on the perimeter. But he suffered an unfortunate injury this summer, and so we've got Cole Thomas who will be playing quarterback this year, and he's growing each week, each practice. Obviously, we spent a lot of time with Brody in the off season, but Cole was going to be the number one receiver last year, so it just makes most sense that he ends up being pushed into that quarterback position, and he can do a lot more for us in the sense that he can run the ball. Not only can he distribute it, but he can make plays himself. So, there's going to be a lot of things going through him. He's not going to be perfect by any means this year. Being a sophomore, it's always difficult, no matter how talented you are, to have that success on a Friday night when you're just a sophomore. Like I said, we have freshmen in the starting lineup, and we have Owen Miller, who's a freshman, and Gavin Friesland, who's a freshman, who are gonna see some playing time, and a whole bunch of sophomores that'll be playing.
The Maroons make the 3-hour trip on Saturday to take on the Indians, who went 1-8 last season. Bass expects Dakota to be very physical, but says if his squad can match that physicality, then it should be a favorable matchup.
Yeah, a long trip. We're going to kind of treat it like a playoff atmosphere in the sense of how we kind of structure how we're going to go and the logistics of going up. But we're going to be playing someone who didn't have a lot of success on the scoreboard last year as well, but plays in a really good conference, and they're going to be very physical. Mm-hmm. They're young as well. They're going to be a lot of freshmen on both sides of the field that are going to be that'll be on the field this week. And I think that matches up well for us. They're probably thinking the same thing. Like I said, I like our athletes on the edge, mm-hmm. and we got to come out and get ready to be physical, match their physicality. We got to be able to do that. Otherwise, it's going to be tough because they do have a good running back that runs the ball really hard, and we've got to be physical, match that physicality that they have. Getting them the ball on the perimeter, whether it's through screens, whether through jet sweeps, or through passing the ball. They just got to get the ball in our best athletes' hands. And then when you got Cole at quarterback, you do have a running threat. So you can't just fall asleep at the box. You got to be ready for him. And we're hoping that Cash Tanner can run hard and be a physical type runner for us. And mm-hmm. our offensive line is improved from last year. So that says a lot. We've got some size up front. So we're looking forward to it.
Coach Bass indicates that he is giving up play calling duties this season. Kyle Patterson has moved from defensive coordinator to offensive coordinator and taken over play calling, while Colton Leak has taken over in the defensive coordinator spot. Bass feels that he has his coaches in the right spot this year and now will be able to coach the coaches and see the bigger picture.
We've changed our scheme a little bit this year. I've got my coaches in the right spot. I think I may have mentioned this last year where, we had Colton Leak, who was the defensive coordinator at Gibson City, came in the prior season a little late after we'd already decided that we were going to have Kyle Patterson call defense and mm-hmm. I was going to call the offense. And so the timing wasn't the right to make any kind of change at that point. So we kind of went through the season with that. And I think this year we've moved Kyle to offense, which is where his specialty is. And, of course, the experience that Colton Lake has calling defenses, particularly in big games, that's going to help us out immensely. So, it allows me to kind of coach the coaches and see some things from the bigger picture as opposed to calling plays. And it's going to be a different challenge for me personally, but I feel like these guys being in the spots that they are puts us in the best possible position to succeed.
Game time on Saturday is 5:30 p.m. If you're not making the trip, hear the action on the big 1520 AM, 92.3 FM, and 106.5 FM in McLean County at WHOW or any of our digital platforms. In Heart of Central Illinois Conference matchups this weekend, Tremont at Eureka, while Gibson City Melvin Sibley plays host to Tri-Valley. Deer Creek makes the trip to Central A&M, while Shelbyville hosts Hayworth. Tuscola will play at Warrensburg Latham. Monticello will open the 2026 high school football season hosting Illinois Valley Central as the Sages look to build on a very positive 2025 fall football season. Monticello went 7-2 in the regular season last year, rattling off 4 straight wins to close the regular season before a tough 21-20 loss to rival Tolono Unity in the second round of the Class 3A playoffs. Coach Coley Welter says that loss fueled his team this offseason, and he is proud of the way this year's seniors have stepped up to provide leadership in the program.
I think it definitely fueled them. I think we walked out that field very proud of our effort. Outside of the actual outcome, there wasn't much negative to say about the effort that the kids put forth, and really kind of a culmination of a year where they started off a little rough and really, I thought, transformed themselves into a pretty solid team. And I think this year's seniors saw what that team was able to do and would like to build upon it. Yeah, I really feel like this group has taken the bull by the horns. We've talked about the fact that practices and off-season can be coach-led or it can be player-led, and it's always more beneficial, I think, when it's player-led. It means more. There's more investment when the players are being the leaders versus the coaches having to tell them everything to do. And I really felt like this group did that in the off-season. They did that in the summer, and just little details that they take care of that make the coach's job easier and show how much they are invested in the program has been a positive sign.
It will be another season. The Sages offense will rely on a first-year senior starting quarterback. Colton Schubert leads the Sages offense, and Coach Welter believes he has a trio of running backs that are as strong a group as he's had in a while.
Yeah, I felt like he showed really a lot of improvement right away. I would say I would agree with that assessment that particularly the first 7-on-7 was rough, but that's to be expected a little bit. And yeah, you're going to have some confidence issues. You're going to have some nervousness. This is the first time that, he's taking first group reps. And so, yeah, the first 7-on-7 was a struggle, but he learned a lot. Like, he listened, he was coachable. And I really felt like he picked things up. And so we're excited about his potential. Yeah, I would agree. This is as good a group of running backs as we've had, and as long as I can remember, in all honesty. And we've got Max Utley and Forrest Rogers shared duties last year, but Daniel Moore is one of our strongest and fastest kids in that mix as well. Kendall Lips, who's had some injury issues, but seems to be healthy, knock on wood, right now in the mix. Braden Woods played sniffer for us. I mean, we're rotating those 5 guys in at, 1 or 2 positions. And the nice thing about that is most of them play defense, so this is an opportunity for them to sort of share the load and stay fresh throughout the game.
IVC has a first-year coach who comes from North Carolina, while Monticello has a general idea of what to expect. Coach Welter says they won't know until kickoff what they're facing.
Yeah, they have a young coach who's bringing a lot of enthusiasm and newness to their program. They seem really excited about him, and he was a successful defense coordinator in North Carolina. I know the numbers are probably not where they want them, but they're improved, and I feel like they've got some real energy in their program right now. What we do know is that they're going to be multiple on offense, and apparently positionless is the term he uses, and do a lot of motions and shifts and move kids around. And then defensively, they've been mostly an even front, at least if you go by what he did at North Carolina. We was sprinkled in some odd front, but looks like more of a 4-2-5 look. But we don't know exactly what we're going to see, so we're just going to have to be ready to adapt.
Game time tonight from Monticello is 7 p.m. Hear the action on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. In Illini Prairie Conference matchups tonight, Prairie Central travels to St. Joseph Ogden, while Bloomington Central Catholic plays host to Paxton Buckley Loda, and Tolono Unity goes to Rantoul. In 8-man football, Meridian travels to Palestine Hudsonville, while West Prairie plays host to Blue Ridge. In the Big 12 Conference, Danville goes to Champaign Central, and Normal Community plays host to Bloomington. In non-conference games today, Springfield-Lanifer travels to LaSalle, Peru. Decatur St. Teresa plays host to Quincy Notre Dame. Stockton goes on the road to El Paso Gridley, while Iroquois West is hosting Westville. Williamsville travels to Pleasant Plains, while Richland County is on the road at Taylorville. Arthur Levington Atwood Hammond plays host to Villa Grove Heritage, while Olympia goes to Auburn. Chatham Glenwood takes on Normal West in Chatham Glenwood, while Springfield Southeast goes to East Peoria. Fisher plays host to Toledo Cumberland, while Jacksonville travels to Jersey. Peoria Manual is on the road at Lincoln, while Mattoon plays host to Decatur MacArthur. Oakland Tri-Valley goes to Sangamon Valley, while Arcola is at Nokomis. Peoria plays host to Peoria Richwoods, while Richmond Burton goes to Peoria Notre Dame. Normal U High makes the trip up to Rochelle, while Springfield hosts Cahokia. Metamora goes to Sterling, while Morton is on the road at Mahomet Seymour. Limestone plays host to Mount Zion, while Dunlap is hosting Galesburg. Wheaton North will play at Washington, while Urbana goes to Champaign Centennial on Saturday. Also on Saturday, Lincoln Way Central will host Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin, and Argenta Oriana goes to Sullivan on Saturday. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
If you're a farmer, downtime is not only lost time, but lost productivity and potentially lost profit. That's why when your equipment is down in the field, you need a mobile welding job right now. Call the professionals